Sound check. One. Sound check. One. Welcome, classic rock fans, to another classic gig review. At the moment, of course, we're all locked down and shut in, so I thought I'd make a little video to reminisce about a gig I attended 35 years ago, believe it or not. And that was Motorhead live at the Hammersmith Odeon. It was the birthday tour, I believe, the birthday party. They were celebrating their 10th anniversary. And myself and a friend of mine, we used to go to these gigs together all the time, and we always wanted to see Motorhead. We'd got up to London quite early that day. We went to a little shop called Shades in Soho. I don't know if you remember it. It used to sell heavy metal paraphernalia, posters, records, all that sort of thing. They used to have a back room where I used to go and buy Kiss bootlegs from them. I don't even know if they're still there or not. I suspect they're not. But we got to the Hammersmith Odeon, the venue, hours before the gig. I don't know why we did that. We just sort of hung around on the steps and sort of chatted with the people selling bootleg merchandise and eating chips and stuff like that. Of course, one of my presiding memories of the gig is the volume at which Motorhead used to play. And we were sat at the back of the Hammersmith Odeon upstairs, so we weren't getting the full force of it, but still, it was still pretty damn loud. I remember it was like it was snowing as the plaster started coming down from the ceiling, sort of snowing down. We had to dust off our jackets after we left. And there was a guy, there were ushers walking around the audience, and we're throwing badges to people, Motorhead badges. And I remember picking one up and sticking it on the denim jacket I was wearing at the time. Motorhead then, of course, they were supported by a band called Zodiac Mind Warp, and they just had a single that had done fairly well for them, I think, called Prime Mover. It's the only song I know that they did. I don't know if they did any other material, but they were okay. Really, I didn't take that much notice of them. And that day there were two support acts, and I remember after Zodiac Mind Warp there was Wendy O. Williams, and my God, she used to shriek. Of course, she was formerly of the Plasmatics, I believe. And she had a song out as well that was on the Kerrang compilation. I think it was in the heavy metal charts. I don't think it made the mainstream charts. I don't know, but it was like having screwdrivers forced into you. She used to shriek at a hell of a volume. But it was interesting seeing her. Of course, she would later on in the evening duo with Lemmy for No Class. Now, the Motorhead lineup at the time was Campbell on guitars. There was Wurzel, of course. We've since lost Wurzel as well. And there was Pete Gill on drums. Now, Pete Gill used to drum for Saxon, I believe. I don't know what he does now, but he used to drum for Saxon. And I really like this lineup of Motorhead. It's not the classic trio, of course, it did Ace of Spades, but I think this lineup was really tight and sounded fantastic, especially with the two guitars going on. I think Motorhead really sounded great with the two guitars and Lemmy. Anyway, the set list, I looked up the set list online. Now, this gig was called the birthday party because it was Motorhead's 10th anniversary. Iron Fist, I remember them starting with Iron Fist because Iron Fist is one of my favourite Motorhead songs, and they started with that and I remember it. Stay Clean, The Hammer, Metropolis. It's funny actually, I know a lot of these songs, but the only Motorhead album I actually owned at that time was live at Hammersmith, No Sleep Till Hammersmith. I didn't have any of the studio records, but I did know that record very well, so I knew a lot of these songs. Mean Machine, On the Road, Killed by Death. Now, Killed by Death, it was a single, their current single at the time, I believe. Ace of Spades, Steal Your Face, Nothing Up My Sleeve, We Are the Road Crew, Bite the Bullet, The Chase is Better Than the Catch, No Class, which he duoed, of course, with Wendy O. Williams. Overkill, Bomber, and of course Bomber, you have the plane coming down, and then Motorhead. Now, what was great about Motorhead is he was joined on stage by lots of people, famous people, as well, former guitarists and things like that. Did Fast Eddie Clarke join them? I can't remember, but I know Phil Lynott came on and played with them. Whether we saw the whole of them do Motorhead right to the end, I don't know. We had to dash off to get a bus or train home, I think. But I do remember. So I've seen Phil Lynott and I've seen Thin Lizzy without Phil Lynott. So put them together maybe. But it was a really great gig. One that I have a lot of affection for this band. I know I talk about progressive rock a lot, and I do love all that stuff. Deeply. And I must admit, I wouldn't necessarily sit down and listen to Motorhead anymore. I might put them on at the gym or something, but I have a lot of affection for them. And believe it or not, I found in the attic, this is the jacket that I used to wear in those days, because I was well into metal. Look at this. What a relic. You know, I don't know, a lot of people were wearing jackets like this, you know, heavy metal fans. I don't know if they still do anymore, but I've got all these pins or badges on them that I'm glad they're still there, but I don't know if you can see that. On this jacket is the very badge that was given out at that gig, Motorhead 10th anniversary. I put it on my denim jacket and it's still there. Now, bloody hell, obviously it's shrunk over the years. It just doesn't fit me anymore. Oh. Anyway, thank you for indulging me with this little stroll down Amnesia Lane. It's a wonderful gig that I'm really proud to have seen Motorhead in, I think, in their heyday. I love this lineup of Motorhead. And Lemmy is a much missed commodity in the music world as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe. I hope you're all staying at home and staying safe, listening to some great music. Do check out the Facebook page, and what else do I usually say? For extra content, of course, extra videos and ways to support my channel, do check out my Patreon. The thing should be coming across the screen any minute now. But most of all, do keep listening.